Helix Sleep. Let me talk about my favorite thing in the world. It's a Helix mattress. If you haven't jumped on the Helix mattress train yet by listening to the show, I don't know what you're doing. But maybe there's more people out there that just need a friendly reminder that if you aren't getting the best sleep of your life right now, maybe it's time to upgrade to a Helix mattress. Helix has a lineup of 20 unique mattresses for all kinds of sleepers. Sleep hot, sleep cold, on your side, on your back, doesn't matter. They have a mattress that's right for you. All you have to do is go to helixsleep.com, answer a few questions about your sleeping preferences, and they will set you up with a mattress that's perfect for your preferences. And you'll get a mattress in no time. It's also just fun to deliver. It inflates. It's amazing. It doesn't even need a box spring. They even got mattresses for the kids and those big and tall sleepers. And it's recommended by chiropractors and leaders of sleep medicine as your go-to solution for the best sleep you'll ever get. Also, you get a 100-night sleep trial on it. You can do whatever you want for 100 nights. And if you're not absolutely obsessed with it, you can send it back for a full refund. You also have a 10 to 15-year warranty on all the mattresses, depending on the mattress. But let me just tell you, it's going to be amazing. You're absolutely going to love it. We have a Helix mattress in every bedroom in our houses. Our guests absolutely love it. They rave about it. Definitely take our word for it. You'll be glad that you did by getting yourself a Helix Sleep mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL for 20% off site-wide for their March Madness sale. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL for 20% off site-wide. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/VIALL.
Perfect timing.
What's going on, everybody? Jack, just come on in.
Hi, Jack.
Jack, one of our very talented editors here, is bringing in a coffee run.
Look at that.
Little BTS here at the Viall Files.
Jack, wave to everybody.
Yeah,
Jack, wave to everybody.
Oh my God.
You know when you take a sip of a coffee and you're just like, wow, that's good.
Yeah. I didn't even need you to finish the sentence. Yeah.
You knew exactly what I was going to say. Yeah. And it is good.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
The cloud
balling out this morning.
Well, what is going on, everybody?
What is going on, everybody? We are joined by
a full household of wonderful ladies. We
wow.
have,
as it should be.
Women.
Actually, Nick, I think you can go home.
honestly,
The women
this.
energy
Even
here
here
is palpable.
There are even two
Yeah.
in Natalie's stomach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally, there's a lot of women
Even
in here,
more.
and I have all of their eggs in my stomach as well.
Isn't that
Whoa.
crazy?
Lots of estrogen.
Nuts.
I'm feeling so happy.
I
and
love
light.
it.
Surrounded by the positive energy.
I'm not feeling light, but
You look it.
I am.
You do
Feeling
look it.
happy.
You look fab.
I had a breakdown last night.
we're getting
What
into
happened?
occasional life. You know, it's
tough.
It's a lot.
Yeah. You know,
No.
you just like blink and then you're just, you got this massive belly. You can't really do much. I'm like already waddling. I'm like, this feels too early for that. And I just started crying last night and I was like, I just feel so big. And like Rivers being like,
Oh my
Mama,
gosh.
run, Mama, dance,
Aw.
Mama, jump. And I'm like, Mama can't because the baby will fall out of me. I'm sorry.
Not fall out of you.
It will. hopefully they do fall out of me. When the time is right.
When the time is right.
There's
Yes.
not a lot of push.
Yes. Yeah.
And we
Natalie,
do
the
it.
one perk though is that now that I'm so large, I can rest Louis right on top.
Ooh.
Yeah. Helps with the weight distribution.
Interesting.
Louis doesn't like go top rope and like jump on you like River does with Natalie.
Top rope?
Top
Wait,
Like a
explain.
wrestling reference.
Yes.
You know, they go.
I was
Oh.
thinking climbing.
I don't
Oh.
understand the wrestling reference.
Yeah.
It makes sense now. Like once you said it's a wrestling reference, I'm like, oh yeah, on top of the rope.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, yeah, he was like hitting me with a bat yesterday.
Love.
Okay.
Boy mom.
Boy
I did
mom.
set my Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich on my stomach yesterday.
Oh, yes, I
Wow.
saw that.
As a table.
That's really cool.
Did you get a picture of that?
I did.
Good.
I feel like that's the perks.
I did.
Your book?
Nick,
Exactly.
watch
It's a
Natalie's
table.
stories.
Yeah.
He
That's
doesn't
like-
watch my stories, guys. He does not watch my Instagram stories.
I try to be offline.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You don't want to know what your wife is posting?
You've been posting a lot of art, so you
there
have been
is-
on
There's
I'll tell
a
you
lot
that
of
much.
art happening. Kind
A
of
lot of
impressive.
But he's posting from a place of earnestness, so it's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Cute.
No, you have like your art.
it calms me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
It's
hope
great.
if I can just calm one other person in the world, I have done my job.
There you go.
You said
It's
that
kind
very
of intricate.
evenly.
The art, I'm like,
With the chalk.
yes.
He's good.
How long did that take?
Anywhere from like 10 to 30 minutes
Okay. Per square?
per square.
Mhm.
Yeah. I had to
River's not allowed to help. Also, she honestly is not even allowed to be outside.
I was gonna
My
ask,
child.
did she walk
Well, she would
outside?
ruin it.
I'm drawing between the dogs and her, walking over it. It's fine.
Some people just don't appreciate art.
Chalk is a very forgiving medium.
Mhm.
So,
Medium.
yeah.
It's medium.
Wow.
How
An
many-
artist. How many tiles do you have left?
We're running out
Yeah.
in the backyard, but I will just pressure wash them.
You're just gonna hose it down and start fresh?
Start
over. That's the
over.
nice thing. It's like it's kind of pretty easy to do. There's not a lot of setup.
Yeah. Okay.
Painting. Oh my god, it's such a process.
Right.
But
And a
what if
mess.
you make one that you really love and then you can't keep it?
You
Take a
gotta
nice
take the
picture of
tile
it.
out and put it in
Right.
the garage, of
I'll
course.
just do
Right.
it
Take a-
again.
Yeah, or like take a
he's
nice
just
picture of
talented
it.
enough
Yeah.
to do it again.
Yeah.
It's
My
the
bad.
journey that
Any
is so
art that I've
enjoyable.
made that
That's
was
not
good
the
enough was an
destination.
accident. So
Do
I like
you-
it doesn't
Happy
come by.
accident.
come
Are
by.
you keeping like every little thing that Louis draws on?
So now that he's in school, he comes back with a lot of projects.
Mm.
And I actually was wondering like what to do. A lot of them I'm just like, what? This is big. And I don't know what to do with it.
Yikes! Don't have the room for
It's
this
all on
one.
my dining room
My
table.
mom sent me the other day. I think when I draw, my mom gets a little giddy. It reminds her, but it was like a Father's Day card that I made of my dad, and it's like a stick figure of me
Aw.
and my dad, and it says, "Dear Dad."
You just drew a stick figure?
And she
I
said that.
hadn't really
Just lock your screen, honey.
evolved yet.
Lock-
Huh,
lock- just
yeah?
lock the screen.
Lock the screen. Okay, sorry. You are a great dad. You are a good dad. Thank you for all the good things you have done. I hope you have a nice Father's Day. You are the greatest dad in the world. Love, Nick. And it was just, here's dad,
Oh.
here's me. And then there's a bubble. You're the greatest. And apparently I have sunglasses on. And my
Cool
dad has a
guy.
mustache.
Let me see.
Wow. It's actually so sweet she kept that
Yeah.
all those
It's
years.
so it is hard to.
Yeah.
Do you have like a giant box of River stuff?
Well, she's not in school, so any crafts must be done with someone involved, which sometimes is a bit of a mess headache in our house. But we have a few. My mom, when my mom was in town, she like did her handprints. Like that stuff's cute. Now that it's Easter, we'll do her footprints, like make them into carrots, like
Cute.
we try to be cute. Today she's painting. I like those. They're like they're like the little paint kits, so like ceramic
yeah, yeah.
things, and it comes with the little paint. It comes with a paintbrush, and you just like give. I will like buy. I found one at Home Goods the other day. Bought that for her. That'll keep her busy for.
Like at home, color me mine.
Oh my god, yeah.
Girl,
Oh,
mom. That'll keep her busy. I love that for you.
The long coloring. The huge like coloring papers that like stick on a table.
Oh yeah.
Those are like a big fan in our house with those.
Because they don't move.
Mm.
Well, yeah, and because they cover everything she shouldn't be coloring on, But anyways,
Also, don't forget, Viall Files Plus is ad-free. So if you want to listen to all your favorite Viall Files episodes ad-free, you get to do that now on Viall Files Plus. Plus, get some amazing content when we dive deep into your favorite reality recap episodes like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and The Bachelorette and Age of Attraction. Get some behind the scenes, and we really get into the nitty-gritty on some of your favorite shows and all the things going on in those universes, as well as your pop extra, all your favorite pop culture topics that we didn't get to talk about, like Mary wants to talk about
Club Chalamet.
Club Chalamet.
Retiring, it's really important.
Yes,
Tune
very
into
important
Pop
stuff.
for sure for a State of the Union.
Also, a lot of interesting things going on in the ecosystem. Jake Shane is under fire. I'm definitely team Jake Shane here, but like the responsibility of podcasters,
Yeah.
doing red carpets and interviewing celebrities, and how your more typical legacy entertainment journalists feel a certain way about it, and who's right, who's wrong. I have a lot to say about that topic, and we
Yeah.
will certainly dive into that on Pop Extra this week, and maybe a little bit next week on Reality Recap. But certainly get it first on Viall Files Plus. Also, don't forget, Netflix is a Joke is coming up May 4th, and we are with the new cast of Temptation Island. I know you don't know them yet because the next episode hasn't come out yet, but remember, it is a great show that's super messy, a lot of fun, and we'll be with that cast on May 4th in LA. It's going to be a live show. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're looking for something to do and have a fun night out, we are super excited to be with the next cast of Temptation Island. Get tickets now. Go to our link in the show description or viallfiles.com. Well, we do have a great episode lined up for you today. We have, from the great hit show Age of Attraction, Jorge and John are with us to talk about their journeys. We will unpack. There's a new batch of episodes out on Netflix now, episodes 6 and 7. And
What?
we will-
7.
What was that?
6 and
6
7.
and
Yeah. Guys,
seven.
let's not be the out of touch parents, because I was at the playground with River, as I often do to end my day, and I overheard a couple of kids talking to some other kids about how like not cool 6, 7 is anymore.
I was told that,
Yeah.
yeah, it's unk and chop because
Mhm.
older people are doing it.
Yeah.
Do
But you
what
know
unk
what?
is?
As someone who's having a crisis because I'm about to turn 25, I'm claiming it. I'm taking it.
When's your 25th birthday?
Monday.
Worst birthday of my life.
Cool.
Oh.
So
Well,
yeah,
have
you-
so much
to look forward to.
to look forward to.
Wait, Nick, what happened?
Yeah,
because he realized that his life was not going in the direction that he had planned.
Quarter life crisis.
Yeah, I hope your birthday is better than mine, and I like to think your life is a lot more exciting than mine was. But at the time I turned 25, I was in the middle of one of the many breakups I was going through with my first
Deep
girlfriend.
depression.
Uh-huh.
I was an accountant at a job I hated.
Uh-huh.
I did not drive a BMW,
Yeah.
which when I was 18, I was like,
At 25, I'm going to
He
drive.
had
like
no
I'm
friends.
gonna have a wife and some kids and a BMW,
Yeah.
and that will be the definition of success. And I had no wife.
No friends.
No.
No.
Okay, come on. Okay, calm down. And I just was like, I'm 25, and I was like, I'm not doing anything that I thought I would. I have no prospects.
Well, I feel like you're on a better track than that.
I'm not doing
Mer.
anything I
Thanks,
enjoy.
guys.
Yeah,
This
it's got to
is-
be pretty good.
Yeah.
Your early 20s, you're trying to live up to the expectations you set for yourself as a teenager, which is bizarre when you think about it, but that is what we do. And like life comes at you fast. And 25 seems such like a milestone when you're younger, and then you hit it so quickly, and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
huh?
They're just like my mom had like a kid.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just like,
And I am
I got
like, oh, fuck.
I
And
got
like-
married.
do you
and
think
had a
she'll
kid
buy me
my
a-
25th?
your mom
You
had a
did?
kid, and you're still
Yeah.
dealing
Yeah.
with the Sunday scaries, you know? It's
yeah.
like,
yeah, like,
I got pregnant with River at 24.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
yeah, and I'm
Wild.
like, can my mom buy me a straightener
I
for
was
my
drunk.
birthday? Like, do I think that'll be like
Yeah.
a good thing for her to get me for my birthday?
Yeah.
Like, that's where I'm at right now. And so I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
25.
it's a tough birthday sometimes.
It's like some of my friends are getting married. Other ones are like, okay, I'm going to go to grad school. So it's like there's a lot of different things happening,
Totally.
Yeah.
you know?
It's a false measuring stick that really creates a lot of anxiety. But happy
Yeah.
birthday, Mare.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's not my birthday yet. I'm still a young whippersnapper
Yes,
of
of
24.
course. She is
I'm not
24.
chopped. I'm not
So
cooked.
young.
I'm not unk yet.
Yeah.
25 was also the first birthday where like I felt it was like I don't want
I
to tell
do-
people I'm 20.
He's like
it was
this.
like, yeah, it was like
Twisting that knife.
I'm almost
that
dead.
He's
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should be
really
taken
kissing
out
the back
over.
Yeah.
to marry.
Yeah.
Have you heard the theory about your birthday though, or like your age is that you're actually turning the age you've been all year on your birthday, Right. not you're turning
Yeah,
25.
you're
Yeah, because you're
living
in your
in your-
25th year.
Yeah.
Like, I'll be entering, my grandpa always used to say that you're like entering like your 26th year when you turn
Mhm.
25.
You know what I saw too?
Which is
that was
also how
interesting?
health insurance companies feel.
Okay, for
Yeah.
sure.
You know what I saw too that was interesting, and I was actually thinking about this. I was like, how is it that Louis was born in 2024 and now it's 2026? So he's been alive through like 3 years, but he's not even 2.
Math is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whew, that just sent me through a spiral, I'll tell you that much.
Right? That makes no sense. He's seen 2024,
'Cause it
2025, and now 2026, and he's not even 2.
Yeah, but not all of 2026.
Well, based on that information, and I don't know when his birthday is, I'm guessing he was born at the end of a year,
No. July.
so middle of a year. And we're in the beginning-ish of another year.
I think it's because of exactly what Mary said. Because you're like, you basically don't count.
Guys, we're
The
giving
first
ourselves
year.
away that we didn't do well in math.
Yeah.
We're in
I've never
entertainment.
hid it.
We're in
Yeah.
entertainment.
It's never been a
We're
secret.
in entertainment.
We were actually talking
people.
about this yesterday.
This
that
is your
we were
confession.
both so good at like in like our AP Lit and Lang classes, and we could bullshit anything.
Yes.
And then I was like, yeah, no. One time I literally cried during a pre-calc test.
I believe
Like,
that.
Nally
Mhm.
famously wrote, "I'm sorry."
I wrote that
On
on
a
my
math test.
on my AP stat exam. I wrote
That's
"I'm
really
sorry"
funny.
on one
Every
page.
math,
I love that.
every single math test
Yeah.
in college.
It's
I was
real
like,
as fuck.
I'm sorry.
Like,
And with a sad face, I would add.
yeah, it's like,
To
listen.
like really add it.
She's like, this
you
will
didn't
definitely
ask
at
to
least
be
get me
there.
a D. They're not going to fail me.
Mhm.
And sometimes she'd write back, say, "It's okay."
It's okay. We're not all like
Yeah.
numerically gifted.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we do have that great episode lined up for you today. Age of Attraction, Jorge and John. We also have the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives episodes that get into
Well, speaking of numbers, we have Age of Attraction, Jorge and John with
Jorge
us
and John.
today.
And we'll get into Jorge's side of the Viall and Jorge
Discussion.
discussion, disagreement, where they're not seeing eye to eye. And so we'll get some more information on that. Obviously, a lot of conversations are going on in the internet regarding Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the upcoming season of The Bachelorette, centering around our Bachelorette, Taylor Frankie Paul. It's obviously overwhelming the news and the headlines. You know, it's very difficult to talk about, and I don't think we have the right things to say right now. Obviously, these are very serious allegations and a very sensitive topic. Out of respect for those involved, we're just not going to comment on the details of this story regarding Taylor and Dakota. But you know, it does seem like the Bachelorette is going to continue to air, and they are moving forward, and we have the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So we are going to continue to try to talk about these shows as best we can, knowing that there's a lot of sensitivity around these very serious topics, and we'll do our best. But you know, obviously, it's you know, we're just thinking about all those involved because it's as Taylor said, a very heavy and serious situation, and our hearts just go out to all these people.
Gas, groceries, eating out, even on the tightest budget, there's no escaping them. But here's what you can control: getting cash back every single time you fill up, hit the grocery store, or go out to eat with the Upside app. Honestly, Upside is just now part of our routine. Anytime I'm about to fill up my tank or grab groceries, I check the Upside app first to see where I can earn the most cash back. Because why would I not take free money that's literally right there? The free Upside app gets you cash back on gas, groceries, and dinings, the three things that's draining your wallet right now. Over 100,000 participating locations means cash back opportunities are everywhere you already go. And yes, it's cash back, not points you'll never use, not credits that expire, money you transfer straight to your bank account. Here's how it works. Open the app, claim an offer, pay with your card like normal, and get paid. That's it. You'll earn 3 times more cash back with Upside than the loyalty programs or credit card rewards alone. Upside has given back $1 billion to its users. To find out how much you could earn, download the free Upside app and use promo code VIALL to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas using promo code VIALL.
When your company is growing fast, order fulfillment can make or break success. ShipStation's intelligence-driven platform brings order management, rate shopping, inventory and returns, warehouse systems, and comprehensive analytics all in one place, saving customers 15 hours per week on fulfillment. We have been using it ever since this company existed. If your customers are doing any type of online ordering and you are shipping their product to them, ShipStation is an absolute game changer for your company. First of all, it scales with your business, so it doesn't matter what size your company is, a company of one or a company of hundreds or thousands. They can help revolutionize your business. Save up to 90% off on USPS, UPS, or FedEx shipping rates. Your shipping costs are some of your highest costs to run your company, so why not go ahead and save yourself as much as 90% off with ShipStation. Plus, seamlessly integrates with all kinds of e-commerce platforms. So regardless of what you're using to run your e-commerce platform, chances are ShipStation will integrate with it easily. Plus, you get amazing analytics so you know where your product is and getting your customer the information they need when they need it, because your customer satisfaction is super important. Sharing tracking details cuts customer service inquiries by 12%. So let ShipStation give your customers an overall better experience and help take your company to the next level. Try ShipStation for free for 60 days with full access to all features. No credit card needed. Go to ShipStation.com and use code VIALL for 60 days for free. 60 days gives you plenty of time to see exactly how much time and money you're saving on ShipStation. That's ShipStation.com, code VIALL. ShipStation.com, code VIALL.
Thrive Market is one of those memberships that immediately pays off, especially if you have kids. I love being able to stock up on snacks, pantry staples, without running all over the store. Everything gets delivered. I can set it on auto ship, and I'm saving money every week. Kids want mac and cheese, sugary snacks, juice boxes. They're going to eat what they're going to eat. Thrive Market gives you versions with less sugary, fewer sketchy ingredients, and more nutrition so you can say yes again and say goodbye to mean mom syndrome. Thrive Market makes it easy with thousands of healthier swaps of the things your kids love, like Goodles mac and cheese, Collie Puffs, Olipop, or other low sugar swaps, and fruit snacks with simple ingredients. I love being able to put River's snack drawer on a place where she can reach it so she can access it whenever she's feeling snacky or hungry, and I don't have to say, no, you can't have that. No, you can't have this. I just allow her to eat whatever she wants when she's feeling hungry. They have clean ingredients, which gives you less stress. Thrive free from 600 sketchy ingredients, making it trustworthy space for parents. No guessing, no Googling, no aisle squinting. I would always find myself looking in the aisles at the ingredients and being like, oh my gosh, no, this has 27 added grams of sugar. Perfect. Great. It sounds like River's going to not sleep tonight. Ready to make some healthy swaps and become a member? Join Thrive Market with our link, thrivemarket.com/VIALL for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. You know how you tried to come for me for Ryan Gosling's Hail Mary that he threw through that donut? Then you were like, that's AI. And it definitely wasn't. Well, guess what? All of Zendaya's wedding photos that you thought were real were in fact AI.
How does it feel to have gotten
How does it
gotten
feel?
it?
You got by AI.
So wait, I'm confused.
That photo that you were like, I just saw a photo of them. They got married. It was like such a clear photo of them
I
at the
didn't say
altar.
it definitely wasn't
You
AI.
pulled up the picture and you were like, look, it's them at the altar. The priest that's marrying them. It's like, how
That's
cool.
how I sounded?
And I was like, I don't know. I
Little
feel like
bit.
maybe that's not real. And
I don't
then
remember being like, this is definitely real. I just remember being like, oh,
You did say I saw the photos this morning. They were at the altar, so
yeah. And
it was a still from the movie.
same way you thought Ryan Gosling had a cannon of an arm.
which he does.
Wait,
that
it was
one
real?
hasn't been proven.
Oh,
Well, here's the thing. Both Ryan Gosling and Zendaya and Tom Holland are all multi-talented. So it's like easy to be confused by AI versions of them being even more talented and amazing because you already think that.
It's honestly hard to believe anything.
anything.
I mean, everything I see, I'm like, is it AI? I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, wait, Matthew McConaughey recently purchased the rights to
His voice.
Yeah, his voice, and I think also his image, so that
Yeah.
like if they wanted to use AI or something, it's
What
something.
a terrifying world we live in that
Yeah.
you may one day have to purchase the rights to yourself.
No,
But
no.
he's like a pioneer in the sense that he's like telling all his peers and industry people to do this. There's no playbook or there's no
Yeah.
industry people saying, all right, before we embrace AI, let's make sure we protect all
Smart.
of our
But
people. It's like if you're smart enough like Matthew McConaughey, you can do it. But if you're someone else who's like maybe an up-and-comer, doesn't have a full team, doesn't have the awareness to do that.
I just saw a commercial maybe yesterday, actually. Connor and I were watching something and it had commercials. And I can't remember what the product was, but the whole thing was Jurassic Park. And it was the first Jurassic Park with Laura Dern and lead male actor. That's the dinosaur
We know
bones.
him.
Okay, that guy. So
Yeah.
they did a whole commercial in AI and like bad AI. Like when the guy's face turns, it like morphs into like kind of like something else a little bit. Like it's just like it's bad AI. Laura Dern's face is looking wonky, and it's just like they didn't even have like the most like intense up to date AI, and they still put this fucking commercial
if we're,
out.
If we're gonna
That's
talk AI, because this is crazy. The guy, the CEO of ChatGPT or whatever,
Yes.
OpenAI,
yeah.
he was doing some kind of like business conference,
Mm-hmm.
and it's my like I don't like as a business owner, you guys know, like I think we should look into embracing AI. I think there's elements of like to me AI is a tool like anything else, and tools are only as good as how you use the tools, right? Like, if you use a screwdriver to hammer in a nail, might not be that effective. You know what I'm saying? And like AI, if you're using AI to think for you, to do your homework, to be like, hey, write me an essay on like the American Revolution, you're not going to learn, you're not going to develop skills. If you use AI to say, all right, you have to come up with the interesting questions, you have to have it help you in things like that. But what seems to be happening now is like, especially kids, we're not learning. We're getting lazier, we're getting dumber, we're just having AI do all this work for us. That's not a tool. That is like watering down our own intelligence. Anyways, the CEO of OpenAI was giving some conference, and he said, and he got a lot of credit. Like this is the only thing I've ever seen the entire internet rally behind an agreement, which is like he sees knowledge as a utility. And what he meant by that is like he sees OpenAI or other AI companies charging for information.
Yeah.
Yep, there it is.
Like
Yeah.
so first, OpenAI was open source. It's free. It's a public service. We're all going to put it out there for all of us to use. And so right now we're all using it, and most of it aren't using it as a tool to like not to do our work for us, but to help us do some of the busy work faster so we can be more creative. It will not come up with cool ideas for us. Like that's not what AI does. Like as according to our Ben Affleck, he talked about how AI just kind of like keeps you in the mean. But like they're now going to dumb us down. They're going to make us all stupid.
Yeah.
And then when we're all stupid, they're going to be like, now
Pay for the
$4.99.
You're not gonna get us addicted.
Seriously.
No, I believe it.
It's terrifying
You know
when you
what?
think.
It's also, I'm kind of the belief with AI that it's like, I think that if have you guys seen the Lorax, the movie version of the Lorax?
I'm familiar with it.
Well, basically, in the movie version of the Lorax, they make everyone pay for air, and it's kind of, I believe, if I'm wrong, clown me, whatever. I have a point. I do think with AI and thinking about Matthew McConaughey, it's like it should be the opposite. Matthew McConaughey should not have to buy back the rights to his voice and his identity from AI. AI should have to purchase those rights from the human being. And it's all reversed. And it's basically there's this assumption that once technology exists, we immediately become indebted to that technology instead of that technology being indebted to us as the people that created it. And I just feel like there's this weird like dynamic going on that we just have to like, it's here. Let's just do it. And it's like, yeah, I think it's a tool, but tools are very, very dangerous to a lot of people because you cannot trust humanity to make good decisions with those tools. Famously, humanity makes pretty bad decisions with tools that they're given.
The head of the companies will protect us and charge us a utility for knowledge and information.
But it also reminds me of just like even with like when streaming services came out, right? And it was like this like ingenious idea of like, oh my God, okay, I pay $7.99 and I have access to all of this commercial free. Like, why do I even need cable? So you start canceling your cable subscription. You're like, they're only $5.99, only $7.99. I'm paying way less for all these streaming services than I'm paying for cable. Next thing you know, now it's like add tier. Next thing you know, now you have to pay for the premium. Premium's $30, but hey, you might get a bundle with it. And it's just like, yet again, like something that you relied on thinking that it was giving you convenience is now become a burden where it's like it probably would be cheaper to have cable nowadays than all premium services.
The illusion of choice and the illusion of free will.
Thank you.
Do you remember how great it was on a Saturday late afternoon to go into Blockbuster?
Oh yeah.
I used to go to Blockbuster.
And
as
it just
a
like
kid.
finding a movie and like, was it there? Was it not there? Then you'd go to the counter, be like, did anyone return?
Yes. You don't even have to
you got
rewind it.
mail. Yeah, I'll take it. It's just like, that was a whole thing. That was like, people made core memories doing that stuff.
Have you guys ever seen The Holiday?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes.
You know when Jack Black and Kate wins, like, it's one of the most romantic scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like just the two of them in that Blockbuster, and he's talking about scores, and they're just having this moment, and then Dustin Hoffman's there. But like, it's just there's a tangible element to so much stuff and so much connection. Like when you find those things and places like that, like a Blockbuster, like those like communal spaces, like a movie theater.
Yeah, like what did you grab?
Yeah, like are so important. Like what kind of candy do you like? And those things that like these like streamers and like all of this thing being immediate and giving you this immediate access, like takes away that space for the connection with the people that you love.
Anyway, hug
That's
your
what
friends.
the fuck.
Hug your
Get it,
family.
Mary.
Sorry, again, I'm almost turning 25.
She's sentimental these days.
My frontal lobe is forming.
In a world where we need wholesome, quality television that doesn't feel toxic or too heavy, thank God we have Age of Attraction.
Thank God.
It really is kind of like a breath. I didn't expect it to be so like light and fulfilling.
Well, it's
as it is to
a
watch.
titillating topic of age differences that it's interesting to a lot of people. But I said this when the show was about to come out. But like I love being a part of the show. But I love that we're having these interesting scenes that are relatable. There's a heaviness to them a little bit, but it's not so much like there's not like a good person or a bad person. There's no hero and villain. There's like I kind of understand this point. I kind of understand that point.
Well, we did covering episodes 6 and 7. They dropped last night, and we're meeting families.
I love meet the family situation.
It's always so good.
It's always like a
stakes, baby.
I love that
Wake
they
up.
didn't know who was coming. So I do like the aspect of like some of it was like the friends. Pfeiffer being like, oh my God, it's my parents and I have never seen them together in like 10 years. And like so cute, but so interesting. Like, you know what I mean? It makes that whole like meeting Derek so much more interesting because you're like watching Pfeiffer and like, how is she handling everything? And the fact that they were like, oh my God, she's so comfortable. But anyways, no, it was so cute. And then like some of them had their kids, the Teresa and John of it all.
It's also a reminder, which I love introducing the family, specifically on Age of Attraction, but just kind of whether it's The Bachelor and its hometowns or whatever, is that like it should remind the audience that these people truly are in a bubble, right?
Mhm.
And just like in the real world where we fall in love and like we just kind of isolate and we kind of like go off to Never Land with the person we're dating and we kind of disappear and we fall in love, right? And we kind of like, and maybe we're dating someone, we're like, I don't know if this is going to work out, you know, I don't know what my friends are going to think, but we just kind of do it anyways. And then at some point, we have to have those conversations with our friends and family. And then there's this kind of like reminder of like the real world, right? And so when you're seeing Teresa have a bit of a meltdown, she clearly has this connection with John.
Yeah.
There's real feelings, and up into this point, I think that Teresa has been kind of, when these kind of negative thoughts come in or these fears or concerns, up into this point, she's been like, I don't need to worry about that right now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna push that away, you know. And that's such a relatable, normal feeling when we are falling for someone where we're not sure what our friends or family are going to think about it. And now with these shows, we hit them with well, whether you're ready or not, we're going to do this. And you see this kind of like with Teresa, this holy shit, the make-believe's over, you know, the pretend world is over. And now I have to start thinking about what does this relationship with John look like outside of this bubble if I choose to continue to be in it. And it's pretty fascinating.
Are they the biggest age gap where the woman is older than the man? Are they the biggest?
Yeah, 27 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I find them so interesting because I feel like it's basically her heart is telling her one thing and then her mind is saying something else. And I kind of get it. Like, I can see that there's something so special there, but watching them, it almost feels like Romeo and Juliet, like a love that you know is probably not realistic.
Yeah. I asked John about this in the upcoming interview, but I thought it was really interesting. They talked to John after he met his kids, and he was frustrated because he felt like Teresa didn't like gas up their relationship a lot. And he felt like, oh, she was more focused on her insecurities and she didn't like talk about our connection. And yet John left. And then Teresa's kids were like, you're clearly happy. You look so great. And it was like, I thought it was this interesting that John made an assumption of what he thought Teresa should say and what it meant for his kids, and didn't trust Teresa that she obviously understood her kids and what they needed in that relationship. And her kids responded exactly how John wanted her to respond, which is to see that connection. And they clearly did. And yet John had a completely different interpretation.
Meanwhile,
of what that
John's
meant.
mom and sister are like kind of, I mean,
More judgy.
Yeah, definitely not
Yeah.
giving. I mean, sister's like, clearly she's older. And I understood their pact of being like, hey, let's not, like, if you're going to go in there and be like, hey, she has 3 kids, like, that's going to give them an idea of my age. Like, let's just leave all of that. Let's let them get to know me. We can bring all that information later. They went in with that pact. And then he's like, yeah, she's got kids. Yeah, she's 54. Yeah. And then they're like, well, that's just so weird that she didn't tell us. And it's like, well, wait a second. Like,
Yeah.
they went in there together with that plan. Like, I don't think
He's
this
showing his
wasn't-
age.
Yeah.
He's showing his age.
He's showing his age. He's getting around his family being like, hee, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Let me tell you guys what's up.
And what's really interesting, especially, again, we talked about this on Tuesday, when you have like the age difference in an older person and a younger person, again, I think the older person is always going to have that concern that the younger person has the life experience to handle the baggage we bring into this relationship, whatever that, you know. And you see that with John and Teresa, you know, her kind of constantly questioning him. It's interesting from John because up until this point, John's been kind of Teresa's rock. Hey, I'm not concerned. I'm not worried. We have a strong connection, which I think is, you know, it's great to hear him say that. But there's a part of me that feels like he's not really listening to her concerns and not really understanding what she's trying to articulate to him of like what life is going to be out in the real world. And it will be interesting if they do decide to move on into the real world, what will change from John's perspective. Because at some point, like, they are going to have to deal with their age difference. Like we had to deal with that, it comes up and you can't always just be like, whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to just acknowledge that the age difference does matter and that you will have to deal with it in different ways than you would a relationship that doesn't. And I'm curious how those two would navigate it if they decide to stay together.
Yeah. You know who else showed their age? Chris.
Yeah.
Chris with his mommy at the table.
Yeah.
That was wild. As soon as Leah leaves, he's just like, Mom, look at me. She's like, you seem so happy.
He's like, look at me and tell me that this is not normal.
Because
Mom.
I want to go to the
It
gym.
was very much giving like I'm gonna text you and you call me and say like, oh my god, you lost your key and I need I have to
How to
save
get
you.
out of a bad date.
How to get out of a bad date. It was very much giving that. He's like, Mom, I don't look happy, right? Like I look sleepy, right, Mom?
He goes, tell me, is this what a relationship is supposed to be like?
Which is so unfortunate. And Leah is just there, like, putting her heart out on the line for this
Literally.
guy.
Sweet. Her
And,
saying love you to his
love
mom.
you.
I was like, yes.
No, I don't think watching it back, because again, some of these scenes we didn't have the benefit of watching in real time, but watching it back, I think Chris has been very cavalier, I think, with Leah's feelings.
Yes.
And I don't
That
think
is a good
he
word.
understands how important this is to her.
Mhm.
And, everyone who goes on reality TV, they come in with different expectations. I think most people go on The Bachelor. It's like, this is going to be a crazy experience. But like, you can go, like, I've always joked, like, yeah, I went on The Bachelor because I've never been to Europe, and that's true. I wanted to travel. But when I got there and I said, okay, well, I'm going to lean into this experience, it very quickly got very serious.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I am opening up and being vulnerable and talking about my feelings. Other people, you go on the show with, you never see them kind of lock in, maybe because they don't develop a connection with the lead. And then all of a sudden you feel this very different experience from what you're experiencing from people who are sitting across on the couch from you. And they're just having fun and drinking and whatever. And I'm getting that sense from Leah and Chris, where like, she's very like, I want to find love. I've shockingly found this connection with this younger man. I'm going to give it a shot. And I'm worried that Chris has alternative motives.
I have a question for the room. What are your guys' feelings on, like, not necessarily in reality TV, but the idea of like a person who is like accidentally cavalier with people's feelings?
How do you mean accidentally?
Like, I think sometimes in relationships, the idea of like you're trying to be nice because you like a person, right? But then there's like things that get misconstrued, whatever lines get blurred. Like, what are your? Because I think it's unfair. I think sometimes in these situations, you look at Leah and Chris and you're looking like, how could Chris just be kind of like leading her on like that when he obviously doesn't?
I think part of it too, specifically with like age differences. I mean, it's always the same. It's like, I'm an old soul, I'm mature for my age. And you can both be mature for your age and still have aspects of you that are immature. There are some aspects that Chris, he's talked about how he's really stepped up for his family. His dad sounds like he's having some health issues. He seems like at a very young age, he's really stepping up in a meaningful way. And that takes a lot of maturity, And so he could be very mature on that aspect of his life and completely
types of
immature when it
emotional
comes to
maturity.
handling relationships, and someone who comes in with, I'd say like past trauma from relationships. When we are all out there dating, and I was taking a river to the park and thinking about this. I think when we go out there and dating, if you're out there still dating, I think a healthy baseline to recognize is that like to be in a relationship with me is a lot. Like,
Are you saying everybody or you?
everyone. No, everyone. Like everyone who's out there, like you go online right now and it's always like, there's so many bad options. All the men suck. All the women, are terrible or whatever from the opposite side of the aisle. And we're always complaining about it. But like, when was the last time? It's just like, I make a great first impression, but boy, a year in, I
have a lot of needs.
I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
When we date, we act like, I'm like, sure, I have some things I can work on, but overall, I'm just like really fun.
Wait, are you calling me out right now? Like, this is me.
No, but
Change
we-
of attraction.
No, here's the thing. It's like all of that is true, but then at the same time, it's like, yeah, we're all fucking disasters. And like,
Totally.
and then it's
we're
like,
just all a lot to deal with.
yeah, people.
And think about year 3,
And think
of a
about how Logan felt watching that sex scene play out where she's like explaining to him about foreplay,
I do want to just say, Logan, great vibe, great guy.
No, you took one for the team.
Yeah.
Livy and Andrew, I feel like,
They seem good.
they seem great. I think they're getting a lot of criticism because she looks bubbly and fun, and that reads young, and she is young, and,
I mean, her friend was brutal and hitting him with he could use some Botox.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, bitch.
that was like, that's the, it's just
came
like,
out of nowhere.
that's not funny. That's just mean.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like, say that to me, like, not in front of his face.
Or maybe like not the first time you meet him. You know what I mean? Like we could joke about it like later, but it was just, but at the same time, I'm like, I did like her friends that I was like, they were honest. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Like, have your opinion. I don't think it needed to be that brutally honest.
Well, what's interesting is like we all have friends like that, and I thought he handled it pretty well because like, if you are going to date someone younger, they might be mature for their age and you might have a great connection, but just doesn't mean all their friends are.
Yeah.
Right.
And
That's
if you
so
want to
true.
date them, you still have to accept that part of their life isn't going to connect with yours.
Right.
And you can't come into this and say, you got to shut that all down. You got to be like me. That's not how it works. You have to find that middle ground,
It's
So
like
true.
Nick with some of my friends. He'll be like, the way he tries to connect with them, and he'll be like, so, Chambliss, tell me like 3 things in your life that you're loving right now and that are just inspiring you and motivating you. And she's like, Nick, this is such a Nick-ass question. I don't know.
She's like, I came prepared.
You're like,
She's
why do I
"You
feel
know
like
what,
this isn't
Nick?"
going deeper?
Yeah, I didn't, like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
I'm good. All right, let's move on.
We are a lot to deal with. That's all I'm
We are
saying.
all a lot to deal with. That's
We
the
really
theme of
are.
this
I just see
episode.
Chambliss having a notes app now, just like coming up with answers just in case.
Yeah.
Well, also, I don't know, those commercials where you're like, you're just like your parents.
Oh my
Every
God.
day I get older
Oh
is
my
every day
God.
I'm like,
Mhm.
fuck, I'm my dad, And I love, my dad's my hero.
Yeah.
I love so much about my dad, but like realizing I was more like my dad than I realized,
Yeah.
I just is something that kind of throws you off, and and you see as you get older, you also see your parents as more human
Yeah.
and less like hero-ish, and you see their flaws as lovely as they are and the things they bring, and you realize, oh, I do that too, probably.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that okay, yeah. So that's the thing that all my exes got me. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, okay, cool. It's
Yeah.
It's wild.
Life is funny.
No, and I
Mhm.
feel like especially for like teenage girls, I feel like you kind of spend that entire time making sure you're nothing like your mom,
Mhm.
and then it's like later on in life you're like, oh shit, where
Some-
do I get this from? And then you're like,
Yeah.
ah!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm like, okay, I guess I just won't say anything. I'm like, oh,
Why?
no. Also, I've realized that I'm like my dad so much, which he might be listening to this. I doubt. But yeah, I've realized he's a very like, I'm not going to say anything about how my internal feelings ever. And I'm like, wait, fuck, I do that.
I literally thought about these commercials yesterday because I had a guy come to fix the air conditioning and Connor wasn't there. But when he was leaving, he like had gone up to the roof, came back, and he was like, yeah, I was your compressor was broken or something. And I go, I genuinely have no idea what that means, but thank you. And he was like, he laughed at me and was like, sometimes like a bunch of people, like they just ask, and then I realize that I'm explaining it to them and they have no idea. And then I thought to myself, Connor would 100% be like, okay, so like, was it the fluid? Did it need to be replaced? And it's like, you don't know. Why are we doing this? Why are we making this man explain his
Even
job?
after he explains it, you're still going to be like, okay.
Okay, great. I could probably fix that.
Yeah, I thought Pfeiffer and Derek's was I feel like that showed her age a lot, and just the like, I don't know, it felt like her being clearly upset about like the moving to Dallas,
Mhm.
changing her life, being like, oh, I never thought I would like change my life for a man,
Yeah.
know, whatever. I always told myself that. Derek being like, oh, I just like, give me a hug, like it's okay, like we're gonna figure it out, and her just being like, no, I actually don't want to be near you at all. Like,
Mm.
and he's like, I just want peace at the end of this. And she's like, peace? Really?
Good luck.
no, but Pfeiffer in that moment kind of reminded him of like the conversation, Mary, we had, going into your birthday. It's like
Mhm.
you, in your early 20s, you have like I had these promises and I was going to do this, and I would never do this for a man or a woman or whatever. Derek is, has 2 kids. He's 20 years older, and he's like, yeah, I've been there, but I've learned to not to be adaptable, to roll with the punches. Like I've been down bad a couple times, and I've worked through it. And in that conversation, you can tell that like they're coming from very different perspectives about like how to interpret their fears and concerns. And it's Pfeiffer reads like she hasn't really dealt with some of these heavier moments in life. And you keep hearing her talk about past relationships and these bad boyfriends. And what seems to be working for her and Derek is like everything we know about Derek so far is he seems like a really stand-up guy. You know, he treats his partner with respect, and he listens, and he tries to be calming, but she's not used to that. And she can tell it's healthy. Like there's the connection and how he handles himself, but they are still figuring out, do their lives still work together? You know, is she...
Like, I relate so much to her fear. You know, obviously, like, I moved here for Nick. I had no friends here. I had only been to LA one time before this. Like, I had a life. I had a job. I had my own apartment. Like, I was doing just fine in Georgia. And so then for Nick to be like, oh, well, I just bought this house. Move out here. Move in with me. I was like, okay. But I definitely wasn't like, oh, I always told myself that I wouldn't do this, or I like my friends, I'm going to just like be so like putting all my eggs into this one basket. It's like at some point in your life, you do have to like make that leap and take a chance and like see what happens. And maybe you move back to Seattle. Maybe, you know, like I kept my apartment in Georgia till my lease was done because I was like, maybe this won't work out.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
And we joke about this all the time, but like Nally has opened up about when she moved to New York as a teenager, and which is crazy and blah blah blah. But we probably don't work out if that doesn't happen, because Nally had that experience as a baseline of like, I'm going to move to this new city and not know anyone, and I'm going to figure it out, and I'll probably meet some friends. When I was that age, I was more like Pfeiffer, where my friends were my whole life. Where, you know, a lot of times you're just like, why would you ask your best friend Eric of whether you should move? Like they're not going to be in your relationship, you know, but like they're so important at that stage in your life for a lot of people. But yeah, I mean, at 22, like my friends were my whole life, and their opinions were everything. And I definitely needed their approval. And so I wouldn't have been in the position that Nally is in at that stage of her life, having done very different things, you know, that I did. And so we worked out because we didn't have similar childhoods. And we lived somewhat similar experiences at different stages in our life. And I think you're seeing with Derek and Pfeiffer, the more they talk, there's a clear connection. There's clear chemistry. There's a lot that works, but we're also seeing a lot that might not.
Yeah. It seems like she's stepping into that era that he's experienced before. Like she hasn't had the experience, but this is the catalyst. This is the thing that's going to help her grow, and if she moves, you know.
Yeah. Well, we do have John and Jorge with us to
unpack their experiences. We get into more of the drama between Jorge and Viall. We get his side of the story, and who knows, we might get both sides of the story at some point later in the future. All right, well, up next, Jorge and John.
Well, if you didn't know, I used to work in the OR as a certified surgical technologist, so I've clocked literally hundreds of hours in scrubs, and once I discovered Figs, I basically refused to wear anything else. First off, they're so comfortable. Their fabric is soft, breathable, stretchy, with special tech to prevent sweat and odor, plus pockets where you need them, and adjustable drawstrings for a fit that feels good all day long. Plus, they're actually cute too, and Figs is releasing new colors all the time, so whether you work in a hospital where you have a specific color or where you can wear whatever colors you want, Figs has so many options to choose from. They have so many different fits: petite, tall, regular, joggers, flare, boot cut, whatever it is you need, Figs has it. They also have outerwear, accessories, loungewear, and even teamed up with New Balance for sneakers for long days on your feet. That's like every day, right? So if you're listening and in healthcare, or you know someone who is, it's the perfect time to upgrade your scrubs to Figs. Use code FIGSRX for 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX. You're going to love these.
You know how chlorophyll is responsible for how plants harness the power of the sun. Now you can enjoy a gentle but powerful daily detox with chlorophyll's stick packs from Nature's Sunshine. They are a convenient on-the-go way to support your gut health with a gentle daily detox to help your body feel light and balanced. It's easy to mix and a simple way to incorporate a daily detox to feel lighter, more energized, and more regular. Plus, it comes in refreshing flavors like lime, apple, and melon. Personally, my favorite is the lime. Again, it's one of the many things I'm using to make sure I am living my best life and feeling like my best self. And your gut health is incredibly important to your overall wellness. Honestly, I have been loving how much better I feel after adding Nature's Sunshine chlorophyll stick packs to my routine. It's a gentle daily detox, no crazy cleanse or gimmicks, just real plant-powered support to help you feel lighter, more energized inside and out. They freshen from the inside out. It aids detox and digestion and provides antioxidant support. So get yourself some Nature's Sunshine and get yourself some daily detox that you know your body needs. With over 16,000 5-star reviews, you know it's incredible. Get a daily detox with chlorophyll stick packs. Nature's Sunshine is offering 20% off your first order plus free shipping. Go to naturesunshine.com and use code VIALL at checkout. Again, that's naturesunshine.com with code VIALL at naturesunshine.com. John, Jorge, welcome.
Hey,
Thanks
how
for
are you?
having
It's
us.
good to see you guys.
Good to see you
It's
again.
been a minute, yeah.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
It has. Well, for me, longer, but yeah.
Yeah, longer.
We've started all these the same way, but I'm always just curious with this show. And why did you guys say yes to Age of Attraction? Yeah, and just like, what was the draw?
So I talked about this with him the other day, and he started cracking up. My grandmother lives on a small farm in Iowa, so Midwest connection.
Mhm.
And I was thinking of the story she has as a 93-year-old on a farm in Iowa. And I live in a big city, Miami, and I got this opportunity. And I was thinking, what experiences did she have versus what experience can I make? And I was like, it's a no-brainer.
Hmm.
For me, it was, I think Netflix did an amazing job because they chose y'all as the host, and your story is picture perfect. And then with me, I mean, I'm like the poster child for Age of Attraction because I'm, my age. And then
Actually, I'm the poster child.
no, you're a poster child, but not for them. But the actual thing is, I've always believed, like age is not a factor. And then I would say the last 10 years, there's been plenty of times where you ask me my age, I'm like, how old do I look? And then just go off that because I don't want to get into that because immediately, certain thoughts come to mind and, it breaks the connection. And I always was like, if the connection is real, then the connection's real. And then let's see where it goes from there. So the Age of Attraction, the draw for me was to see if what I thought was accurate and see whether or not it's true, like an experiment. And I came out emboldened in what I thought.
John, we obviously, a lot of people have been very fascinated with your and Teresa's relationship. And I think going into the show, listen, like the Jorges of the world, we've seen that before. We've seen older men date younger women. And, that's certainly part of the show we wanted to explore. But society in the world has been more resistant and has some double standards when it comes seeing older women dating younger men. It was cool to see you and Teresa represent that type of relationship we don't get to see. But coming into this experience, had you had a lot of experience when it comes to dating women older than you, or was this something new?
No, I have. Funny enough, we were talking. It wasn't anything official. The day I got cast, the girl I was talking to broke up with me because I was too young.
Okay.
And I missed the first call from production. I was in the elevator, got down, production called me, and about 60 minutes before that, said lady called me and said, hey,
She
we're,
broke up with you.
it wasn't, I was debating going on the show because I liked her. I called my sister. I was like, what do I do? And my sister's like, go, you have to explore this. And she made the decision for me. So yeah, I have dated older women. It's not something I seek out. I think I thank my parents for my upbringing and just how I was raised. I think having an older sister has definitely helped me date. She's taught me a lot and we're really close. So it's not something I look out for, but it's done it before.
What was it about Teresa that drew you to her?
Well, I say this all the time. The belt she was wearing just caught my attention. That was like the first thing we talked about. And I loved her style. I'm in fashion. She's in fashion.
You wanted to wear a belt? Okay.
He was like, I'm going to link up with this girl because I want to borrow that
Can
belt.
I use your belt? Can I wear that belt? Because I think it
He's
looks
like, I
really
have
good with
an
my
outfit.
shoes.
I hope they
It
got
goes with my shoes.
I
It
hope
goes
they got
with my
that
shoes.
because
So
we were
I'm saying.
talking about that.
I want the belt.
It was just easy. It was as weird, and you brought me to the side at the beginning and said you're going to get used to these cameras pretty quick, and I appreciate you for that. I thought, this guy's lying. There's no way. But like dating in an experience like that is so surreal, and having her and just having it flow so easily made it feel like, whoa, if we can do this here, like we can probably do this outside.
Yeah.
And it was just easy.
Jorge, we had a little bit of a moment where in the promise room, you were asked a question.
Ooh, I can't wait. I'm glad you asked this question. Ooh, I can't wait.
We did get to see this in real time.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
can't
We
wait
did.
for you to give you the story to it. Go ahead. Go ahead and ask the question.
Well, might not be what you think it is.
Okay. Well, that's true.
You're asked a question.
Mhm.
Do you have kids? Do you want kids?
Mhm.
And your response to that was,
So you
yeah, I'm
want kids.
open to having kids.
Right.
You kind of you punted on the first question.
And you know why? Because I was like, you want to play games. So I wanted to tell her on our third date.
Okay.
And I was going to. And they were like, no, don't do that. I'm like, no, I want to tell her I'm telling her. I have nothing to hide. No. Then tell her now. I don't like you manipulating my conversations. So then I was like, okay, if y'all want to play that, I can answer questions. So when she asked it, I just answered, yeah, you want kids? We can have kids. I'm interested in having kids. I would have interested in having kids. So yes, was it slick? Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Was I worried about my kids? No. Was I embarrassed about talking about my kids? Absolutely not. It's something that I would have told her on the first date. I have no qualms about that. I just don't like being, the interesting part about reality TV is sometimes things are made awkward when they don't need to be. And so I don't
Sure.
feel like it wasn't organic, was pushed. And I didn't like that. So I bucked against it. Now, of course, I know it's going to look like, oh, Jorge just lied about his kids. Jorge didn't want to tell
Well,
kids, but
I mean, you guys worked through it pretty well, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But I guess if nothing else, totally get where you're coming from. Reality TV does push for those moments, but so does, you could argue, so does life. And I think, in reality TV, what it does it's a pressure cooker, right? And it accelerates time.
true.
And it puts people in kind of these forced situations to bring out things that would otherwise take 4 months
Yeah.
for a couple to kind of get to that moment.
True.
Right. But from Vanelle's standpoint, it just kind of came across as almost slick, or just you avoiding her question, because even if that question, maybe she got prompted, or why it happened in that moment versus the third one, like at one point she was like, he does not have kids. Like she's out there telling her girls, and then you're
That's
like,
the
I got to
defense
tell her about my
attorney in you.
kids.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Right.
it created this moment where you clearly weren't on the same page, and she had thought she asked you and thought she had received a different answer.
I know. And you know what the interesting part about it is, as we had conversations further, she was like, I don't even know if I want kids. Like she told me, I don't even know if I want kids. Like it's not something that is the most important thing to me. And I told her, look, so I tend to be a little bit, I will kick against the pricks if you try to make me to do something. And especially if I think that you're doing it to benefit, okay, let's have some drama. So I'm like, no, I
Sure.
wanted to tell her on the third date. And you said no. So no, why now you want me to come in here and be like, hey, I'm 90 and I got 4 kids. No, I'm like, nah, It's going to be on my dime, on my time. Now, could that have looked disingenuous? It could have. And I understand how it can be perceived. And if that would have been something that my kids would have been something that would made her say no, then I really feel bad about it, because that's not what I want to do.
Mhm.
What I really wanted to do was, I want to tell you on my time. Like, for instance, what you said, how reality TV speeds everything up, right? Well, one of the things I do if I'm dating is I'll tell you right off, I don't have a problem saying, hey, yeah, I have 2 kids. It is what it is. And you either take it or you don't. And I'm okay with that. That's not something that bothers me. Now, my age, you determining not whether or not you want to date me because my age, now, yeah, that bothered me a little bit. But now the jig is up.
We all know.
Everybody in the world
We all
knows. So,
know.
yeah, I don't have that problem anymore. So, look, I feel like the age of attraction did me a good favor because, hey,
There's no
everybody
more
knows.
guessing. We'll
There's
go
no
with
more
that.
guessing. There's no
Take
more
that
guessing.
question next
Everybody
date.
knows. But yeah,
Uh,
I hated that. I hated the way that went down. I hated it. I
Okay.
really did.
Another big disconnect that you and Vanelle had was the conversation around celibacy. It was a very fascinating conversation. Obviously, I'm sure you agree that, when people are talking about their boundaries in the bedroom, we all need to respect those boundaries.
1,000%.
You introduced the conversation. I think the word you used a couple times was confused. You felt confused by what, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I want you to give me your point of view, but
Mhm.
it seemed like you said you felt confused by what you thought the expectations that she set and then what ended up happening when you guys got alone. So could you add some context to, we certainly got to hear some things.
I'm sure
Definitely
you
got
did.
to hear some
I'm
things.
sure you
The
did.
phrase oral intimacy was
Yeah,
used.
Yeah.
But I would just love to hear just how you interpreted that whole situation.
So when she raised the issue of celibacy in the promise room, if we were in a regular dating situation, I'd be like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. But because of the age of attraction, and the whole thing about the age of attraction is try something different. So I said, okay, I'm not gonna, first of all, I don't want any woman that I'm dating to feel like she can't say something to me or tell me how she feels. So I was like, I'm open to talk to it. So then immediately when we said that, my viewpoint going to Vancouver was, we're not doing nothing. Like, we're just gonna be hanging. And okay, this is a different reality for me. So now I'm living
I'm
with
gonna
the
be doing
woman.
a lot of talking.
Right. I'm gonna do a lot of talking, right? I mean, one thing we're gonna be is really good friends. Because we're gonna do a hell of a lot of talking and ain't shit else going on. Meanwhile, these guys are like, oh. So, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I have no problem with that. I can control myself. So when we went into the bedroom, I was like, you're on your side, I'm on my side. But one thing I want to make sure, I'm never gonna disparage Viall or her choice to want to be celibate. But, it's like one of my mentors once said to me, is to give good advice and set bad examples is quite confusing. So what's confusing to me is if you're on that tip, we don't do nothing. There's no touching, there's no nothing. But when the lights went off, it was confusing. So, and I don't want to make it seem, the one thing I'll say is this, I didn't initiate of anything. I did not, because I respect her boundaries, right? And I
You
respect.
thought you're going to pull a Logan and just be like, all right, good night.
Right. Yeah. I'm there. So, hey, listen, I'm like, I respect that. But, so here's the thing. What I started to come to understand was, okay, you're struggling with celibacy. Like, that's something that you want, but maybe you weren't expecting it to be, where we're at right now. That's what I start. So for me, I felt like the issue should have been, okay, I'm struggling with this. Maybe we should can you help me type thing, but not like convicting me based on, what. So I'm confused when we go in the bedroom, we're doing different things.
Did you feel like she didn't give you the space to ask for clarity or to have the conversation around what celibacy meant to her? Is that what you're trying to say?
I think so. I think that the conversation, I think you put it accurately. I think the conversation should have been, explain to me what celibacy is because if celibacy to you is,
Everything but sex.
everything but sex, well then, okay, I respect that. That's not what I got. Celibacy when you say celibacy to me, there's nothing, right?
Yeah, and Viall is very open about her faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like celibacy comes from that.
Yes, as a preacher's kid, celibacy means nothing. I grew up in the church. Celibacy is absolutely nothing. So that's why I think, in retrospect, the conversation should have been, what is celibacy to you? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
Because if celibacy to her is everything but sex, well, then she was right on time. And I understand that. But if celibacy is nothing, now it's confusing, And one of the things that I don't want to do is, like, I think Viall's an amazing person. I'll stand on that. And I think that with Viall, it was like night and day, because in the bedroom, it's one thing, but then when we're talking, it's like, what do you think about my celibacy? What do you on my? And so it's like, you kind of put me in a position where I'm confused. And that's where I felt.
It almost seemed like when you brought it up at all for maybe clarity purposes, that she almost received it as you almost kind of challenging her vow of celibacy.
Right.
Is almost like, and in fairness to her, she had opened up and expressed that like other men seem to have not wanted to accept this. And, I wonder if that's how she received it.
I think that's directly, you're right, directly correct. I think, one of the things that Viall and I had a conversation is, she's like, I don't do conflict well. And I said, well, I do conflict extremely well. My job is conflict. I said, and I don't believe you run from conflict. I believe you run to it. Because if you communicate, anything can be solved. I was like, listen, any relationship, it all comes down to communication.
What'd you say
Anything
last
can-
night about communication?
I said, in any relationship that you have, if you have proper communication, nothing can be. There's no relationship that can't make it. The problem, and I forgot the exact quote, but the problem with relationships is if you and I are on the same team and you think that I said something disrespectful or whatever, like in general relationships, if we're on the same team, if you know me, I'm never trying to hurt you. So then that means there's a communication issue. So to me, what should be incumbent upon the two people is, so what did you mean by that? Because I know that you would never purposely hurt me. And then I think you get resolution. So with Viall, I was always like, well, we could talk about it. But I think Viall, one of the things, like she said, she didn't do conflict well. It was like an affront to her. Like, I'm coming after her celibacy, which I wasn't. Like, I just want clarity. Like, give me, if you say, okay, this is what we can do, cool. Because I was cool with 2 weeks of talk. That's fine. If that's what it's going to be, I'm not, I can restrain myself very well. It's not that serious to me. But I think that it was the bedroom and outside the bedroom, I was in two different worlds. And I think, like you said, I think that she took it as me challenging her celibacy. And I wasn't. I had no problem with it.
John, going into meeting Teresa's kids, that was obviously a very emotional thing for Teresa. We saw when we dropped the bomb on you guys that she was
You missed
very
that part.
nervous. You did miss that part.
I know. I heard.
Did you know that she was not going to tell them your age? Had y'all talked about that?
Not really. I genuinely didn't care. I feel like it was hers and I's relationship. Obviously, her kids are a massive part of the relationship. I thought of my parents, my sister, my friend group, my circle, and how supportive they are and still are. And as the show's, getting to air, they're still supportive. I thought, oh, my circle wouldn't care how old she is, so why would her circle care how old I am? So I thought, if she doesn't want to tell them, it's not a big deal to me. And that's just the truth. It's her and I's relationship. If we're going to make this work, I think her connection with the kids would see our connection and be like, all right, whatever, fuck it. However old this guy is, like, my mom's happy. And that's really what it comes down to.
I'm assuming though, like because Teresa throughout the journey referenced the clear double standard that there is when it comes to age differences between men and women. Was it easier for you to, be her support system in that? Or like, how did you find the balance between validating her justifiable insecurities and at the same time trying to also encourage her and support her to like, get out of her head, enjoy what you two had and things like that? How did you strike that balance?
That was tough because I think I was like her rock throughout the whole thing. And I don't think I really showed that I needed some support too.
Yeah.
Like her not really, and the age thing was fine. Like her, I didn't, that wasn't a check. Oh, she needs to tell the kids how old I am to make this real. But I think I was, and I gladly so, but I was supporting her. She was a lot more emotional than I was. And I think me supporting her towards the end kind of weighed on me, actually. That might not show, but I felt like I was supporting her a lot. And then when I would give a little bit, it would be like overshadowed. Like, you have less to lose. My kids are here. You don't have kids. And I told her the whole time, I can't relate to your past. I can't relate to XYZ. She's been through some shit and I feel for her. I do. I can't relate to it. I've never experienced what she's experienced, but I can hear her out. And I think I started hearing her out. And then I lacked, all right, I need some support too.
There was an interesting moment. Do you remember when you met her kids? And afterwards, you gave an interview and you talked about you feeling a little frustrated that she wasn't as expressive as you wanted her to be about your two connection. Do you remember that?
Well, I think if we're just, being real, I think she was just excited to see them. And I think it was more, I think that overshadowed, oh, John's here. Let's talk about John.
Well, it was interesting. You haven't seen this yet.
No.
But
I don't really want to know anything.
Right after you left,
Uh-huh.
the first words out of her kid's mouth was them just being like, it's obvious how much you like John.
Oh, okay, good.
So
Wow.
I'm just curious, after, you feeling this one thing,
hmm
and the thing that you wanted was like almost like her kids to see that connection. You didn't feel like Teresa did that, but clearly her kids saw what you wanted them to see. I'm just
Yeah.
curious what you think about that.
And I think the whole time I don't have kids, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want kids. And we talked about that. I don't know if I'll ever have that connection that she has with her kids. So I can't relate to that. I can relate to what I've experienced with my mom and my sister and our relationship with my parents. But I think that she was just so focused on seeing them. And I saw how important they were to her, that I guess I wanted that validation, because she just talked about it nonstop. And then when you guys dropped the bomb that they were coming, I saw how much of a wreck she was. And I remember the next like 4 or 5 days, it was not good between us. She was just like, it was so maternal that she was like, where are they? Where are they? Like, it was like pure science almost, like her, like, where are they? Are they safe? Like, I know they're around. I was like, holy fuck. So the
Wow.
next couple of days after you guys dropped that bomb, it was rough.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
She's doing her job,
Yeah.
Y'all are dropping bombs. Hey, how about that?
You and Viall's breakup. Do you think it was because of the disconnect around the situation that happened out on the streets of Vancouver, where the man approached the two of you?
Do I think that was the reason?
Correct.
I think it was part of it. I think it was a culmination. Honestly, I did not even expect for the breakup to happen. I feel like, once again, communication is the most important thing to me. I realized Viall, you saw the breakup. She's running off, coming back. To me, just sit there and talk about it. We're two mature adults. We could talk about it. I felt that she felt some kind of way about, we had the celibacy argument, whether, and our little confusion there. And I think that the incident on the street, I stand 10 toes down on that. There's no wiggle room for me. If I'm in a situation and someone presents a danger to a woman that's around me, there's no questions of how I'm going to react to it. No questions. And I think that we even talked about it. She's never been in that kind of situation before. And so I think she wanted, in my estimation, I told her, you can't dictate how I'm going to protect a woman in my life. That's just not going to happen. And I'm going to always do that. So because of that, it looks like that's the culmination. That's the final blow. And I think it was a culmination. And honestly, if I look at the breakup, I think the breakup is we lack communication ability. If we can't talk about that, a situation in Vancouver and celibacy, then there's no way.
Do you feel like that was an age thing, or do you think that
No.
just compatibility, personality thing?
That's completely personal. Has nothing to do with age. I've dated, and I'm not going to even say, I've dated one time someone younger than Viall, and it was not even. It's to me, that's an individual, basis, an individual person that this is. Viall went in and honestly, she said, I'm not good with conflict.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to be good, because you're going to face conflict. Now, someone with a different personality that's probably a little bit more laid back and not as going to call you on it, that can probably go over. And we talked about that. She said she told me she's spoiled. She's used to getting her way. And I said, well, that's cool. But if I see something that's not correct, I'm going to call you on it. I'm not going to let it go.
Those two moments, her saying, admitting to you that she's used to getting her way, and acknowledging to you that she's not used to or comfortable with conflict. Looking back, do you feel like those two things specifically spoke to why you two aren't that compatible?
Yes. And well, there were other things that came up in our conversations that if I'm out in the world, I'm like, nah. Like, I'm very heavy into Black history, very heavy. And Viall was like, who's Morris Chestnut? Like, who? So I was like, you don't know any of those things. So then initially I was like, ooh, but then I caught myself, because there was a lot of things about Viall that I really liked. Like, we had some good connection. The weird thing is, I've never been so protective of someone so quick. And that's what I felt for her. I felt very protective of her. And so there would be things that were, we're not compatible there. But once again, I go back to like, well, we can talk about it. And then, if at the end of the day, we talk and we have good conversations about it and we just are diametrically opposed, and that's cool. But I mean, I didn't think that any of it, we didn't really talk about it. I mean, you have a guy, we're in Vancouver, and a guy's standing behind her with a skateboard, like literally right behind her, and he's talking crazy. There's no way I'm gonna let you stand behind her. Like, there's no way. And so when I told her, I said, go in front of me. And I told him very simply, you can either move or I'm gonna move you. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm not gonna have that problem. I'm not gonna sit there and talk with you, because he wasn't rational in dealing with that. So to me, she got upset about me. Like, she's thinking that, well, I think you overreacted. Well, so you want me to just let him, like, what do you want me to do? So that's not gonna work. That won't work. But do I think that should break you? I think that's a talking thing. And you go, okay, let's get understanding. And how I know that is because after when we got back, she admitted that to me. She called me and she was like, look, I talked to my best friend and my mother, and I was wrong. I should have, you were just trying to defend me. So to me, like, that's why I don't have knee-jerk reactions. Let's just talk.
Listen, I mean, you are clearly a great communicator, but also as a defense attorney, you do bring a very strong energy.
Yes. Yes.
And there was a moment when you and Viall broke up where she said, I don't know if you heard this or if she's just talking to the camera, but she says that you talked at her, not to her. And I'm wondering, throughout your life, listen, I like to talk, I can bring a strong energy, but that's feedback over the years I've received at times. And I wonder if you've ever received that feedback where, despite you still being a good communicator, realizing that like how you talk to your girl versus like how you talk to like other people, there's been some like blurred lines, so to speak. And is that feedback you've gotten in the past?
1,000%. Absolutely. Yeah. And I will receive it every day, 10 times a week. I mean, there's definitely times I'm very strong opinion, very strong-willed, and it's all black and white for me. There are times when you have to pump the brakes. And to me, if that happens, and you say that to me, listen, I think you're feeling like you're talking at me, then immediately I pump the brakes, because when I'm with a woman, I'm gonna always respect, if that's the way she's receiving it, that I don't care what I think. If that's the way she's receiving it, that's just the way she's receiving it. And that means I need to change my approach. Now, she never said that to me, but one of the things with Viall was, and I don't know what it looks like on the camera because I haven't seen it, but there would be times where she would talk and I would listen. And then when I go to talk, she's interrupting me. And I'm like, just you talk, I'll listen to everything you have to say, and then let me respond to it. And I'm big on, if you keep interrupting me, then, okay, you're not even respecting, you're not even listening to what I'm saying. Because to me, in order for me to hear you, I have to listen to everything you say and then resonate on it for a second, not be planning what I'm going to say back to you, because that's not good communication. But to your point,
how do you already have an answer? I just got done
right.
talking.
Like you're waiting. Like, okay, I've had times where people are like, go ahead, because I got something to say. Well, then how can you be listening to what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's impossible. Yeah. And so I kind of felt that with her. And then, times when she just ran off. But to Viall's defense, once again, I think the world of Viall. I think she's a great person. I think our communication styles are definitely different. If she felt like I was talking at her, please tell me that. And if that is the case, then I need to change it, because it's not acceptable. If that's what she feels, feelings are 100%. It doesn't matter if I'm saying, no, that's not what's happening. That's the way she felt. Yeah. And they're 100%. And if that was the case, then I would have said, okay, well, let me pump the brakes and let me try to address it in a different way.
Because she's not going to take any of that in anyway.
No, not at all. So, yes. So in response to your question, I have heard it before. And when it has been said to me before, then I back up and say, okay, let me try this a different way.
John, when we came to the rooftop and told y'all that Jorge and Viall had ended their relationship, how shocked were you?
We had a meeting. We all got together like the night before, 2 nights before, and the vibes were off. Okay. And we all got together, and Viall was separated. Jorge was over here, and we all noticed it. We're like, the vibes are off. I haven't gotten the chance to meet Viall, really talk to her. But you could tell she was very isolated. Jorge was even you see his attitude, his persona, he was even quiet. So we knew something was up.
What had happened was that was the first day she came out and she said something about celibacy. And I was like, when she raised it, I said, I don't know. She's like, how do you feel about my celibacy? I said, I don't know. And she's like, that's not acceptable. And I was like, well, we're in a state of I don't know, right? We don't know if we want to be in a relationship. We don't know. So I don't know. Because what I was really saying is I'm confused, right? Like, what does it mean? And she did not like that. And so one of the things that I'm big on is any problems that we have, we keep it in-house, right? But she got a little upset, went upstairs by herself without me. So when I came up, she's already up there. And I'm like, I'm not going to get into no beef with you because this is not worth it. And so, then we come back downstairs and everything was cool. Then we went on our date, which was it was really odd because I think to her credit, her snapback is good. Like in the sense of, okay, that happened. Okay, let's move on. Because then we go on a date and everything be great. And I'm thinking, oh, we're good. And then it's like, but what do you think about this? And I'm like,
is that a good sign or a bad sign?
I mean, it can be very good because if some people linger and hold grudges, that's not good.
Yeah.
And if you can snap back and say, hey, look, I'm not going to linger on that stuff, that's good. That's really
And
good.
then circle back when you're a little bit more clear-headed
Right.
and be like, let's
Right.
have more of a
Right.
conversation.
And one thing is that I want to make it clear. I'm never going to be on vilify Viall. That's not going to happen. Like, I think the world of her. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think that we had some really dope chemistry and some really dope moments. I think that the breakdown in our relationship was communication, that we did not communicate well. And when you don't communicate well, I don't care what relationship or what friendship you have, it will not stand.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. It's great catching up with you guys. It's really a pleasure
Yep,
to
thank
have
you.
you guys back
good seeing
here.
you.
Thank you.
And we said this to everyone already, but thanks for being part of this journey with us. I think this was, I really enjoyed making the show with you guys. And it's really been fun to see like good quality people work through these complicated relationship dynamics that I think represent dating culture in a very realistic way.
Yeah.
Through the lens of age differences, but it's been a lot of fun having you guys on the show, and certainly Jorge, wishing you the best of luck on your love journey, and John, I'm very excited to see how things play out with you and Teresa. And
Thank you.
I think my love journey is going to be me and my dog. I don't want to argue.
well, I will say it was very, very different stories from Jorge and Viall regarding the street incident.
Yes.
Just to recap, Viall was like, this guy was probably 100 yards away and he was running his mouth. But I felt like Jorge, my man, do I want him to protect me? Sure. Do I want him to defuse this situation? Sure. But I felt like he could have diffused that situation a little differently. And Viall made it seem like Jorge, instead of helping the situation, kind of made it worse before he made it better. Jorge, according to his story, that guy was 2 feet away.
With that skateboard in his hand, ready to go.
And urgency was required.
Here's the thing. As a woman, if someone was actually like making me uncomfortable, I would remember that and be honest about that. So it's like, I don't know why Viall would say this guy was like farther away if he wasn't. You know?
I don't know. I'm
Anyway, that's all.
I will say, I mean, it's a really interesting thing. Like I feel like every once in a while, I feel like, you want to know your man can protect you, like it's just like, can you beat him up if I wanted you to, type of energy. And I also think, but in real life, in real situations, very much like Viall, it's like, I don't need you to make a bad situation worse by like puffing your chest and giving me this.
It's a turn off.
You're a tough guy,
Yeah.
and I think that's sometimes a fine line between like, do you want me to beat the shit out of him, or like, what do you need from me right now? But I do think a lot of times guys will act out in a way that they think their woman wants, and yet they're like, you made that way worse than it needed to be.
Or they act out in a way that their boys in the past would have appreciated or
Right.
supported or egged on. Whereas, like, as a woman, it's like, no, don't make me feel extra unsafe because now I have to be worried about your well-being as well as mine.
Yeah.
Well
Right.
said.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, let's finish things off with a little Summer House.
A little Summer House. Apparently, their mid-season trailer just dropped.
It looks insane.
I loved this episode.
I felt like it was just more of the same.
Well, yeah, but I love Summer House.
Same.
I love more of the same. Give me these people hanging out in that house and
I'll watch
happening.
a group of adults act like giddy teenagers while playing Spin the Bottle Truth Dare edition.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
West will say I had like sometimes the show is too much.
Sometimes it's a little too like parallel lifestyle, like where it's just like maybe like I've been both. I've been West and I've been Sierra. Like where
Yeah.
it's just like,
And I'm like, I don't know
what did
I don't know what's worse. I don't know which person I would rather not
Do
be
we
right now.
think KJ told Dara about kissing Sierra?
No. We'll see. I think it's coming up because I think
I don't think it was that. I don't know.
You wouldn't want.
I mean,
regardless.
tell her. Obviously, she's gonna see, but like, yeah, I think he should tell her because it seemed not to be like a thing.
I was like, Sierra's a little bit more passionate with Bailey than she was
Yeah,
with
I was like, Sierra and Bailey's makeout was hotter than Sierra and KJ's.
All right, let's watch this trailer. That was good.
That
one
does
of
look
the
good.
Looks
best
really good.
shows.
Yeah,
Look
looks really
great.
good.
Doesn't that look
locked in?
awesome?
I got goosebumps.
Couple of things that stood out to me when Wes is like, I'm just worried about Sierra getting her heart broken. If you are in Sierra's camp and you're her friends, like that should be all you need to hear to,
I'm over
Run.
It's
it.
not serious.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
you know,
I'm so
the
mad
fact
at
that he
West.
is in no way worried
Yeah.
about his feelings being heartbroken is just
Yeah.
like,
The way he's saying it is if it's
Good
not
point.
his like responsibility. Like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, oh, I just don't want her
Yeah.
heart to get broken. Okay, then don't do something or have a conversation that sets expectations as to where you guys are at.
and again, but this is obviously just a tease, and we're probably missing context. But we have heard West refer to this in the past, which is like he's always referring to the sexual tension.
But
which
he
is
also
great.
called her the love of his life in the beginning of the season. So it's just kind of like, you're the one that's putting the shit out here, mixed signals, being like, oh, I miss her so much. I'm going to cry to all of my castmates, not say anything to her.
But maybe West saying she's the love of her life is coming from a place of a guy who's never really,
Been in love.
Had a real,
you know,
serious.
maybe he's
relationship.
comparing it to, I don't know what he's comparing it to,
Yeah.
but I think that context is probably important for Sierra to consider.
My read on the West situation is like, I don't know. I don't trust him, and maybe I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. But I think maybe there's a part of him that really, when he's saying he doesn't want Sierra to get her heart broken, it's because he knows he doesn't trust himself, and he doesn't want to like do it again.
But that,
And doesn't want to like fuck, and maybe.
But
and
that's-
I'm not saying I'm not like saying that means it's okay or anything.
You're just denying any responsibility that West has in his own actions. Though.
He does have responsibility.
and he's not 18. Isn't he
Yeah.
like 30?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what I'm
Like-
saying. Like it's like, oh, I just don't
I'm
want
like,
that to happen.
what I
don't do
mean,
it.
it's like I understand where he's coming from, but he like I think I have the tendency to like be more empathetic towards him when in reality I didn't watch the season where he fucked over Sierra.
Oh, you should do that.
So what's really tough
Exactly.
to watch, that moment in the episode where Sierra is just like, and then this shit's going to get aired, and that's going to be a
Yeah.
whole nother thing, and it's
Mhm.
exhausting. I felt for her in that
Yeah.
moment so much, because my guess is they're making TV, and on some level, both Sierra and West are leaning in to this chemistry that they clearly have. That is a real thing,
Mhm.
right? But two things can be true at the same time, where for West, it is he's leaning in, but also like knows that he like his heart is not like as fragile about this. He feels in control when it comes to the chemistry he feels with Sierra. And then you have Sierra who's like, I've moved on and I know it's probably not healthy for me, but I'll lean in. But like I really got fucked up in this relationship. This really fucking hurt me.
Yeah.
And regardless of who's right and who's wrong, this took a lot for me to move forward. And now she's like making, and it's just like it's kind of real and kind of like leaning in, but it's so fucking messy. But she also knows that no matter what, when this gets aired, we're gonna have
kickstart
people
all
are gonna
over
talk
again.
about it, and shows like we'll have commentary, and like so people will clip it and DM her and say mean.
How could
and-
you be so stupid?
I mean, Sierra, she posted a TikTok of her on the Oscars red carpet with her taking her Prozac, with
yeah.
like the glammed out Prozac bottle, which like I want now. But it's just like, I don't know, it just makes me think of like the way that how much more intense this Wes and Sierra relationship is because of the extraneous factors, much more less so than the actual dynamic. The actual dynamic between the two of them is very simple.
Mhm.
They're both kind of into each other, and they just have to decide like if it's worth it or not, right?
Yeah,
but then it's because
and they have
of this
mutual
context.
friends. I mean,
Yeah,
I had a girlfriend once before. I don't know.
No, you didn't.
What the fuck?
But when one of my
News
girlfriends
to
that
me.
I had long in a different lifetime that maybe it wasn't, I don't even remember. I barely remember.
Back when
it.
you were
It
a
wasn't
sailor
even
in
real.
17th
Yeah.
century.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyone,
of course.
Yeah, and it, like in my past life, we broke up, but we had all these mutual friends. We all hung out in the same group. You know, a month after we broke up, we went to our best friend's wedding that we both were standing up in, and it's like,
Girl, been there.
you know,
Tell me
and,
about
like,
it.
And what'd you do? When you saw her?
Backslide.
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
The conversation between Kyle and Amanda, where he's like, I'm getting a manager. And she's like, so this is like a long-term thing.
No,
So
no,
you're
no,
like a
And he's
DJ
like-
now.
If there was a moment where Amanda was like, "This,
We're done.
we're
Yeah.
done," that had to have been it.
Oh, yeah.
Had to have been it.
I could just see that little smirk on her
I was
face.
going to say, she said it
Yeah, I
with a
was like-
smile.
I was like, I'm scared.
Her being like, I didn't marry a DJ.
And suddenly, I'm in a relationship
And suddenly
with a DJ.
I'm the wife of a DJ.
Yeah.
The best is that it was like her being like, hey, like, do you think that maybe all of this stress and this frustration that you're going through, like maybe we should be like cutting some of the extracurricular activities? And he's like, but you don't even want to talk about how Loverboy is stressing me out. It's like, well, Loverboy is your bread and butter. Loverboy is the company you built from the ground up. Either sell that company if it's such a burden to you and then get divorced and become a full-time DJ, or handle your business at Loverboy. Maybe you being gone every week and weekend DJing and not being able to invest that time into your company is why it's such a burden to
Him
you.
saying the alternative is what, staying in the apartment all weekend. And she's like, no, we would do things together.
Hang
And he's like,
out. Date.
Mm.
The best
Mm.
moment of every day of my life
yes.
right now is
Flip it.
getting into bed with my wife and
Aw.
just watching
Yeah.
Watching a show.
Aw.
a show and just like taking my daughter to the park and grabbing, you know, a dinner and not thinking about work or whatever it is, like just slowing down
being with your
at
family.
this stage in my
Yeah.
life, which is similar to the ages of Kyle. When Kyle is just like, but I've never been happier DJing. And I'm glad he's found his happy place, but I could not imagine what it'd be like. I mean, again, I'm married to someone younger than me. I couldn't imagine if one day Nelly comes home and was just like, I don't know what would be the equivalent. I guess DJing. Let's say, you know.
Yeah, she could DJ.
And she was like, I've never been happier.
Mm.
I
Doing
hate
this thing.
techno music. Guys, I could never
Doing
do it.
this thing where like you're not there.
Yeah.
You're not there ever. You don't come on these trips with me. And you know what? Just never been happier.
It's so
I have my
wicked part
TV
two,
show. I
Belinda.
have my business. I have my marriage. But you know what really brings joy to my life?
Uh-huh.
When I
DJing.
get to leave.
When I get
and
to leave you.
Get hammered and stay up until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, and then he was like, she doesn't understand. Like, I'm able to like go to these shows and get Loverboy into venues. And it's just like, okay, so is Loverboy the biggest burden of your life that you don't want to do? Or now you're saying it, you also use it as the excuse and the reason as to why DJing is beneficial, where I'm just like, I just don't buy it.
Mm-mm.
I don't think these clubs are like putting Loverboy. Yeah, they'll sell it for the night because you're there. But I'm like, they're not continuously selling Loverboy at
Right.
like Atrium in Las Vegas.
It does
Right.
make me sad for Kyle that like he just can't see what everyone else can see.
Oh, Carl in the mid-season trailer being like, you're about to throw away your life and your relationship, everything you've built for some fun for a couple of nights.
And now he's being like, oh, I think the Tink girl, Mara Higgins, is like so how, and she's like, I don't know who this man is, but like, no thanks. It's like, that's your reality.
The Tink
Okay.
girl just
The
got a
Tink.
Birkin.
Yeah. and you
just
buddy,
finally gave a
He called her
Cartier
the-
watch after 10
You
years.
called her the Tink Girl?
Yeah, like how she says, I tink.
I tink.
Instead of I think.
Oh.
Because, you know,
So
heaven
cute.
forbid, you know her name.
Yeah.
I've got a crush on her, but like, wouldn't Google her.
Wouldn't Google her or know how to say her name.
Ben and Bailey.
Ben and Bailey.
Everything's fine.
That was interesting.
They're so
We all lost our shit. The internet was taking
great
sides.
and fine. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they seem okay.
Hot makeout. And then him like
Yeah.
getting into bed after with her and being like,
Yeah.
You know,
hey.
Hey.
She starts crying and she's like, thank you for apologizing to me. I'm like,
You know,
really?
I love my girl Bailey.
She's so normal with
She's
Carl.
so She's so
chill. With
honestly,
Carl.
it's like, and that's
Because
so
she does
real.
not want to sleep with him.
Exactly, and that's so real.
It is
You
real.
know what I mean?
It is
Yeah.
real. You become so weird, or some people become so weird when
So
you're like
weird.
Most
interested
people.
in somebody. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Everyone.
start saying the wrong thing, and then you're overthinking it. It's like the worst.
It's like, that's a
It's
nice
very-
haircut. Did you do it yourself?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like,
It's
Like-
so relatable.
I just know exactly every single time. I know what Bailey is feeling exactly
Yeah.
every single time she's standing next to Ben, and I'm just like, girl, I'm so sorry.
when
Yeah.
Lindsay's at the table and she's like, yeah, I told Bailey to go for you, and he's like, oh, yeah, she also told me that you like gave me 2 thumbs down, and she's like, well, I just said that like he probably won't have
Want
sex with
with
you.
you?
And he's like, in his confessional, being like, well, let's just be clear, like when we were hooking up, she said it was the best sex of her life. It's like, no, Carl, like no one was doubting your game, buddy. It's
That's
okay.
not what
you
she
don't
was
have
saying.
to perk up your chest here. We hear ya, okay? But
it was, yeah.
charming, cute.
I love
Lindsay's
this cast.
having her best life. She's like, I'm not really part of this class. I pop in and out, and when I'm here,
I-
I'm just going to start a bunch
Bunch
of
of
shit,
drama.
and then I'm going to take care of my kid.
She
Yeah,
is a
I
reality
love-
TV star.
I
Yeah.
love how she comes in and she already knows what the fuck is going on.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
don't have to sit through a recap.
Well, she
We
gets
don't
her
have, like-
recaps in the city
Yes.
from like Amanda.
And they thankfully don't show them.
Yeah.
You know, like all I need is what Lindsay's giving me, where she comes in and she's like, "Oh, are you gonna talk about making out with me behind my back?" Like needed that, loved that, everything Lindsay's bringing is great.
And the way they'll do a quick flashback to like Lindsay in the city getting the info going and then her using it immediately as a weapon of mass destruction.
Even like Lindsay being like, or Bailey being like, I told Bailey that it's cool, like you guys should go for each other. That I'm just like, it's just showing growth. You know what I mean? Or like Lindsay trying to have a nice conversation with Carl, and she's like, how did that go? like it's very much
Did
like,
you do your hair different?
okay, and I'm gonna leave now. Bye.
Carl basically hiding upstairs while Lindsay's there.
Literally.
Hilarious.
I'm like being completely dumbfounded at her being nice to him, that he's like, I don't know how to respond.
Watching West like rub Sierra, and you can tell he's like blackout drunk. you
Yeah.
know? Like you can just see it and you
The
can
foot.
smell it through the phone.
when he did the foot
starts,
thing.
then he scoots the chair.
Yeah.
Then the arm goes, and you see Sierra just kind of like, what the fuck? Because Jesse's laughing.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, what the fuck are these two doing?
Yeah.
And West looking at Jesse being like, oh, fuck you up. It's like, you are so
So-
hammered out of your
Yeah.
mind. You need to go to bed.
My
Yeah.
favorite is the next morning when he's on the couch and they're like, yeah, you were like touching and rubbing on Sierra. He's just like, stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's
Been
just,
there.
it's that embarrassment from Wes that makes it hard for me to stay mad at him because he's just like, oh no.
No, I loved his line being like, there's nothing worse than not knowing if you were
Cringe.
cringe. you
And
know?
I've never felt anything more in my heart. You know what I mean? That's the thing about me and Wes.
Carl caught astray when, like, Sierra and the girls are talking about whether, like, West and her are actually done. Like, would you give him another chance?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then Lindsay chimes in, which is, like, so real, right? Like, sometimes you finally, when there's the whole phase of a breakup. You're fucked up about it, whether maybe you left the relationship, they left you, but your whole life was still wrapped. You have so much history. All your Sundays were, you had a routine. And then there's this kind of weird, you shouldn't be with him, so you don't, but you kind of hang out. And then finally you get to the point where you're just like, we dated?
Yeah.
I can't, we dated?
Literally.
I would never. And then you have Lindsay being like, so let me just frame it for you. I would never in a million years ever be caught in the same room with Carl Radke. And, and again, she's just trying to talk to his girls, but like, it can't help but feel to Carl if he's watching it back being like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, was I a
wasn't that
monster?
bad.
Like, what's like, holy shit. But like, that's just her, like, she doesn't want to be with Carl. Totally get it. But like, it also like made it clear, then Sierra's like, well, when you put it that way, she is not at that phase with Wes where she looks at him and goes, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. She looks at
I
him
was
and she's like,
into the-
oh,
no. I
Yeah.
cried over.
Yeah.
I was sad over this thing, and she's
Not
definitely
this
not there.
thing. But I've definitely had that thought.
No, it's very, very, very
It's
relatable
very
stuff.
relatable.
Does look like a great second half of the season. I'm
I'm
really enjoying the
locked
season.
in.
One of their, considering it's a very transitional season for them.
Yeah, I mean, I love this cat. Like, all the new people, I had a harder time with some of the new people last season because I feel like Lexi got done dirty. So it's not her fault or anything. It was just Jessie did her dirty, and so it was hard for her to have an actual character. But like, yeah, watching like Mia and Bailey and Ben, like and KJ, like,
Love.
you know,
Yeah.
I'm locked in. I'm invested. I want to know more about their lives.
Yeah.
Well.
All right, well, that will do it for today's episode. Thank you to our guests, John and Jorge from Age of Attraction. We appreciate you all listening. Bye-bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.